afternoon, everybody. It's Cargo Bike Cowboy here. I want to thank you all for bringing me to over the 500 subscriber level and bringing me closer to being monetized, which is something is one of my big goals for this year. I also want to tell you, Happy New Year, Happy Holidays. I was real busy during the holidays, didn't get a chance to make a video, but I do wish you all the best in this new year. There's going to be some upcoming videos about some issues that I see that we might face this year, such as food insecurity and climate disasters. And I just briefly want to touch on the whole climate thing. They keep talking about climate change, and one of their main topics is humans are doing it. It doesn't matter why it's happening. If it's a natural cycle of the earth, if humans are causing it, none of that matters. We have to figure out what we're going to do to combat this climate change. It really doesn't matter what's causing it. It's irrelevant. It's happening. So the cause of it is kind of irrelevant, because if it was us and we've pushed the planet too far, then it's just pushed too far, and we just have to figure out how we're going to deal with it. That's one of the things that we need to talk about in being prepared. I'm a big believer in being prepared, and I'm not talking about like being a doomsday prepper and having 5 years worth of food stored up and all that. If that's what you're into, great. But I have a very different viewpoint on that, and that will be a separate video I will make. Hopefully this week I'll have time to do that. Going into this new year, I want to tell everybody that you should really focus on your health. Like, taking care of your health is, like, in my book, it's number one. Yeah, most people right now are focused on money, I believe, because everybody's hurting financially. But here's the thing: if you don't focus on your health, even if you have a lot of money but you're unhealthy, you're just going to give that money to the medical establishment, which I don't think always takes care of people the best they can. I think we need to look more towards more natural cures for health, and I think that really starts with yourself at home. You don't have to belong to a gym. You can do just basic push-ups, sit-ups, and calisthenics and get a really healthy body by eating proper foods and just doing calisthenics every day. You can really improve your health. Nothing wrong with belonging to a gym. I don't belong to one because none of the gyms in my area allow me to park my bicycle inside. They all want me to leave it outside, and in the area where I live, it's just not happening. Somebody would steal it. I already know. So that's why I don't belong to a gym. And I definitely don't want to get in the car and go to the gym. I would rather ride my bike to the gym and work out, shower, and then ride home. But it's just not possible in the area where I live because there is no inside parking for bicycles. So the other thing I want to tell everybody going into this new year is to be grateful. Be grateful for what you have, because there's a whole lot of people in the world right now that are really suffering, and I mean they're suffering badly. If you have a roof over your head, clothes on your back, food in the fridge, and you have a little money in your pocket, you are doing better than a huge percentage of people on the planet. Every day in this country, in the United States, and I don't know how it is in every other country, but if you live in another country, please comment and tell me what it's like in your area. More and more people are becoming homeless. Some by their own choice. Some people by, bad decisions. Some people just, their job doesn't pay them enough, and they won't go and work a second job. And I get it. It's tiring working two jobs. But a lot of people are really struggling right now. So it's really important to be grateful for what you have and appreciate what you have and appreciate yourself for what you have, because you wouldn't have it if you weren't out there doing. So that's really important, is to take the time to be grateful for what you have. I'm grateful for all I have. I'm grateful for this channel I have and being able to interact with all of you, because I don't have a whole lot of people to talk to every day, but every time I make a video and then people comment on it and they hit that like button, and that like button really helps, get my channel exposure so that I can get more interaction with people. I really enjoy that. So I'm really grateful to have, something like YouTube where I can make videos. And I want to do more videos on like preparedness. I think that we all need to be prepared for what might happen, because it's better to plan for the worst and hope for the best than just not to do any planning at all. And I'll give you an example. Where I work, in the last in a 2-week time period, I saw 2 people have to leave the hotel. And the hotel I work at is an extended stay. It's got like a kitchen, in a fridge and all that. And a lot of people live there. Like, they live there week after week after week because they can't rent anywhere else. So I saw one guy, he had to leave. He didn't have the money to pay for his room, and if you don't pay, you can't stay. That's just the way it works. And he was, an older guy in his 40s. He was a grown man. But when he was put out, and it's cold right now, he had nothing. He had no sleeping bag, no food. All his money was gone. He was basically just, put out. And then a week later, there was another guy, the same thing happened to him. And he was also in his 40s. And he had nothing. Nope, he was not prepared at all. And I talked to him and asked him, why do you not have, a sleeping bag, a tent, a box of food, a small stove to cook things on, just certain little things that you could set aside just in case the inevitable happens. Because the way most people are living right now, paycheck to paycheck, it's in one thing happens, one small thing, and you could be instantly homeless. And with facing that, you want to have, some supplies ready. Being thrust out into the world and being unprepared just makes it that much harder to come back. I know this because I was homeless at one time, and I struggled for about a year. It took me about a year to get out of that situation, but I worked a full-time and a part-time job, and I really struggled for that year. So be grateful for what you have, because at any given time, something could happen in your life, and it only takes, for most people nowadays, it takes one little event, and they can lose all they got, even if it ain't a lot. And like I said, be grateful for what you have. I think that this homeless crisis in America is growing to a greater level than during the Great Depression. I think we are living in harder times than the Great Depression. So, like I said, I know I've said it a bunch, but be grateful for what you have. It's important. Don't just wander through life thinking everything's going to be okay, because there may come a time when it's not okay, and you need to be prepared for that. So I'm going to do some videos on that, and put them out there. From my experience of being homeless, I have a lot of it. What I feel is good, really good advice for people, to help them if they end up in that situation. And like the area where I live, there's a lot of homeless people, and there's only one shelter. In Clarksville, Indiana, there is only one shelter. One. And one of the guys that was thrown out of here, he went to that shelter and they were full. He could not get in, and it was really cold that night. And there's nothing I can do to help him. I don't have the financial resources to run out and buy him, an $80 cold weather bag in a tent. I don't have it. If I had it, I would. I just don't have those kind of resources. It takes, I live paycheck to paycheck. I'm not wealthy by any means. A lot of people think because I have that expensive bicycle that I must be rich. I'm not rich. I took me a year to save the money for that bike, an entire year. And that's why I guard it the way I do, and why I won't leave it outside, why I won't lock it up a lot of places around here, because I worked so hard for it. I worked my ass off for that thing, and I love that bike. And we're gonna do some bicycle videos this year, but a lot of my content this year will be on preparedness and different survival type things. I don't really like the term survival, because survival is short term. I really prefer the term like bushcraft, the art of living in the wild. I think that's a much better thing. Because in bushcraft, you're relying on knowledge more than a bunch of gear. I think we rely too much on things when we should rely on knowledge. And we should form good relationships with like-minded people. So I'm going to end this video there, because it's at about the 12-minute mark. It's getting kind of long. But I do really appreciate all of you. I am grateful for all of you. I am grateful for your comments. I'm just incredibly grateful for what I have in life. And I hope that you are too. And I hope that you have a great new year and you do well. And I really hope for the entire country that this country turns around and our politicians stop screwing around and start to really care for the people of this country. So y'all have a great day. Good to see you. Good to talk to you again. And I'm going to get out of here.